Okay, you should each see a token there for you with your character's name under it. Or their call sign, at the least.
Yep.
I see it.
Very good. So you are meeting together with Captain Banisher. You are in the main deck on the bridge. Captain Banisher is sitting with his feet up. He's wearing a space tunic like everybody else on the ship. For some reason, the uniform of Atho is a tunic that drapes down, has like a, it goes down over the butt, over the thighs, and then you have form-fitting pants underneath and winged boots that are a little bit pointy on the end.
Are they reflective?
Sure.
Awesome.
Most people have full sleeves on their tunic. Captain Banisher does not. He has ripped them off visibly to expose what he thinks of as bulging muscles. He has one of those mariner's beards where he's just got the beard going around the bottom, like a nice full beard going all the way around the bottom, but no mustache. And he has curly hair, and the hair, all of that is brown. His curling hair is thinning at the top, but he has combed it back so that you attempted to comb it back. It's curly hair to hide that fact. He is holding a pouch of drink because gravity is low right now on the ship, and the pouch of drink has a straw. He's drinking out of it, slurping occasionally. He says, "All right, so the mission we've got for you is going to be pretty difficult. We've learned that here on Green Arc 4, this colony loyal to the Terran hegemony, they might be building the new generation of armswear. Now, if they do that, that's going to put us at a serious disadvantage in any military competition we have to get involved with in the future. Because as you remember, we're pushing back against the Terran hegemony's attempts to make everybody under their government. Your goal is to get in there, and if you can take it, take it. If you can't take it, we want you to get as much information about it as you possibly can. Manufacturing, what it looks like, specifications, possible weaknesses, who's piloting it, any of that stuff. And standing with you is Lieutenant Virbenus. He's got flowing white hair, very big sunglasses that look like they could be covering another pair of glasses, but it's hard to tell. His tunic also has the sleeves removed, but they have been removed nicely to reveal his white undershirt. He's got a reflective red tunic in the exact same shade of red worn by Four Seasons War Zarin Ace Sir Easeworthy, but he's definitely not the same guy. And he's got nice black boots with red lining as well. And he's got also a scar on his face in between his eyes, just like Captain Sir Easeworthy had back during the Four Seasons War. But again, definitely not him. And he is looking at the captain. Pardon?
He'll be missed.
Yeah, rest in peace, Lieutenant Sir Easeworthy. You were great.
Are his sunglasses bigger than my sunglasses?
They're a different kind of big. Your sunglasses are... They cover more of your face, but his cover more of his eye, I think. They're maybe wider, and yours are taller, I suppose. There are strict regulations on exact dimensions of sunglasses that you can wear with your Atho uniform, but they just give you the linear dimensions. They don't say which way or the other. So some people have very wide, and some people have very thick, and some people have very tall. You know how it is. So Lieutenant Venus says to him, "We can take the strike team in. I think we'll have a difficult time extracting this new armswear unless we can get some help on the inside." And he turns to the rest of you. "How do you think we should do this? What do we need to know before we go in there?"
I feel like I've spent my life being too cautious, so I think we're ready to go right now. right, I'll see you guys in the hangar.
So the captain hands each of you a copy of the mission briefing.
I walk back and get it.
The employer of this is your parent organization, the Anti-Terran Hegemony Organization. Your target is the Lambda Project Security, and then the Lambda Project itself. That seems to be the code name of this new generation of armsware. Your objective, steal the armsware Mark II or find as much information on it as you can. Rules of engagement: do not damage the colony. I want you to minimize collateral damage, and do not threaten or fire upon civilians. Those would be bad optics for Atho.
But if we did those things, would we fail the mission?
You would piss off your bosses and lots of other people, but you may not fail. It depends. Those are just the rules of engagement, what you're expected to do.
I mean, the latter I can vibe with, but I don't know about this no collateral clause.
The trouble is, if you, say, make a hole in a colony, that's a problem. Because then space gets in, and colony gets out.
Wouldn't that make our mission a lot easier?
Yeah, we're going to be in giant robots, so...
There are a lot of people who live on that colony.
But they are kind of with the other side, right?
The government that controls this colony is currently loyal to the Terran hegemony.
Okay, which is not us.
Not you, no. You're the
right, it would be
anti-Terran
them, right?
That's the. It is a possibility. Them, yes, you could call it that.
Okay. No further questions. I'm ready to go on the mission.
All right. So examples of gathering information in the system involve finding out how you might infiltrate the colony. Where is an entrance point? What is security like in there? Who lives there? What's the military detachment like? That kind of information that might be useful to you. Do you know anybody who lives there, etc.?
I'm wondering how we're going to get our vehicles in there.
Okay. How would you like to try and get your vehicles in there?
Well, I'm not supposed to blow a hole in the colony and march in through it, right?
You're not supposed to do that, no.
Then I would like to know if there's a secret entrance.
Okay.
We can pose as vent inspectors.
Yeah. We need to
And
see
these-
your very large, giant robot-sized vents.
Those are vent inspection machines. VIMs.
You're right. Absolutely.
We need them to get high up and look in the vents.
You need to get the vents real clean with Vim.
Yeah.
Would we be doing all of this in our mechs, or would we go in on foot and then have to like get back to them?
That's up to you.
I guess we could park outside and walk in. Okay,
I guess
here's a question for Mr. Venus. Could we like coerce them?
Who do you want to coerce?
Like the whole colony, could we just sort of like point a gun at them and be like, let us in or else?
You could try that. The question
Okay.
is there anybody else around there who might point guns back at you and have larger ones? That's information you might be able to try and find out.
Is there anyone else there?
Okay. So, in order to find out that information, you might have to a contact inside the colony or somebody within the Terran hegemony who might have that information. Say if you had an ally within the Terran hegemony.
Colin
might be
from
able to help with
accounting.
that. Colin from accounting. From the Temp Pilots Local Union Branch 46. Yeah, you could speak to him if you want.
All right, can I phone Colin?
You can phone Colin. I think getting Colin to give up this type of tactical information might require a roll.
Well, I just want to know if they... Okay, yeah, we can start with that. But since we are a temp agency, we would know something about how often they get temp pilots to fill in for their forces and how often they're stationed here and how often there's a transfer of credits. So Colin from accounting would know about that as long as Brock doesn't screw things up.
Right. This seems like it might be consort. What do you think?
Yes.
When you consort, you mingle with allies and acquaintances.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have
So
a point in that.
Yeah. So Colin is your ally. So for that action roll, you pull up your action roll value, you pick consort. Colin is your ally. He has no reason to be super suspicious of you, so your position is controlled. And I think this will be standard effect if you're able to get the information out of him.
Okay, and then number of dice.
Right now it's 1, but you can increase that by pushing yourself or by... Actually, no, you can't really... No, sorry, you can't really do that during the information gathering. So it's just 1 dice.
All right. Boop.
Okay.
Cough up the beans.
So yeah, on a 4, that's mostly a success, so you'll get some decent information. So Colin doesn't know exactly if there is anyone currently in the area, but Colin does know that they have deployed some of their temp pilots to that arc, to Green Arc, which is that cluster of colonies. So they have been sent there under contract from the Goliath. So he doesn't know if they're specifically at that colony, but they are in the immediate area.
And Goliath are the super big scary ones, right?
Yeah, they're the elite Zera hunting bad boys who have been doing very bad things.
Are there any openings with them right now?
Hard to say. You'd have to do a good interview.
All right. We can pass that for now. I probably won't switch sides. But full disclosure, guys, it has happened before.
Yeah, just how temporary is temp in this case?
So what happens if another temp pilot dies but the mech is still intact, sometimes we have to switch sides in the middle of the fight and we just take over the other guy's thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Depends on the contract.
Yeah. But my contract does say I have to disclose that to you right now. And I'm going to need you guys to sign on with it.
Okay, I'm going to start a clock because you rolled a 4 there. And the clock is going to be Goliath alert. Anytime I tick this clock because of something you do fail that would in some way inform the Goliaths of your presence in their area, that will increase by 1. And once it gets up to 6, that means they know you're there and they'll come for you. Okay. How do you want... What kind of information do you want to gather, Kane?
Kane's kind of curious, like, how big this colony is, what the main industries of the colony are, just a little bit of background information that we might be able to use.
Okay. So that's common information, so you can just do a fortune roll on that. How do we do that here? Yeah, so fortune roll is just 1 dice. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, you're able to...
Kane's never had much fortune.
No. You're able to find out this information. You learn that it is just a standard space colony. It doesn't really have any exports beyond artisanal products that are made on the colony that aren't available elsewhere. Its primary industries are just like manufacturing and production, same as most colonies. It's fairly self-sufficient, but it does need regular shipments of water, salt, and raw materials from the asteroid belt and Earth and the Moon. But you space Googling that particular thing does ping some alerts and increases our Goliath alert clock by 1.
Dang it.
No.
Could we sneak in on a shipment?
Maybe. Macho, what do you want to learn about? What information do you want to gather? So far, we know there's someone in the area. It's a standard colony that requires ship. You don't really know a way in or out, or anything about people who live there at the moment.
Is Regent's Glory part of the Terran anemone?
They are not. They are part of Neozera, which is the enemy of the Terran.
Do they spy on the hegemony?
I was gonna say enemy of
Probably.
my enemy.
Yeah, very probably.
So I think I will contact my ally, Mouty Mod Piper, and see what
Sure.
they know.
What they know about what? What do you want to know from them?
I guess yeah, I mean if they're if they're spying, I think see if they maybe know a way in or any sort of I guess maybe like lapses in guard pattern.
Okay. Do you tell Mouty why you want this information?
I do not, but Randall the Savage is the kind of person you don't need a context for. He's like Jack Black. If you saw him balancing a cymbal monkey on his head while eating avocados on the unicycle, you wouldn't question it.
Right. I'm just wondering because if all right, I think because they are the enemies of the Terran hegemony and not in good standing with the hegemony either, they are very willing to share this information with you. So that'll just be a fortune roll.
How many dice? Is it just regular fortune?
Yeah, just the one.
Whoa.
A.
Okay, very good. All right, so you should have picked 1 rather than 2, but we'll take the 6 anyway, or rather than 0 rather. We'll take the 6 there, so you get good information and more than you had expected. So with that information, you learn that you can absolutely get in on a shipment, and in fact, there's a shipment heading there now. It's a shipment of water. So if you're able to waterproof your bastions, you could slip them into the water shipment, and that could take you right into the colony with your machines. Then you'd have to get them out of there quietly somehow.
My bastion is made for the water.
Yeah, obviously that one is.
So mine isn't, but if we can leave it in a giant bowl of rice for a day or so after getting it wet, it will probably be good.
I'm pretty sure that Kane can help with some of those modifications to protect them from the water.
Okay. Would you like to try that?
I would love to.
That sounds like engineering.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a controlled position, and it'll probably be standard effect for this. And you have how many points in engineering?
3.
3. Okay. So do you want to just roll with 3, or do you want to try and get some extra dice for that?
I think since we're being controlled, this isn't under pressure or anything, we'll just go with the 3.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Boom.
Ooh, you got a critical.
Yeah.
2 mechs are fixed really well.
The other one was the mermaid one anyway, so it didn't need it.
Yeah. So not only is the iMech now completely waterproof, but also something extra good happens. What's the extra thing that happens for the iMech 7 here?
Oh boy.
Anyone can throw in ideas here.
And it has to be
I would
related to
think-
waterproofing it?
Not necessarily. It could be something that he found while waterproofing it.
I think
Money?
that my mechanism my mechanism of waterproofing is using not so much like seals and stuff, but like an energy barrier, and maybe that would give it some extra shielding or something.
Okay. So we can keep that in mind. Maybe
There is a
or something.
there's a under vehicle load there is a force field or shield option.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is one of the options that you can take as load. Let me check here. Vehicle gear, fine shield or force field. Yeah, okay. I think going in, you can have a fine shield or force field on the iMech without it counting against your load for this mission.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. Is the X already waterproof, or does it need to be?
I assumed that I was working on both of them. That was.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so then you can both do that.
Cool.
Oh wait, there isn't. There is no shield option for the technician vehicle that I see.
I thought it was just under the like general thingy.
Oh, shield or force field.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So now we need to plan the mission, so we know how we're getting in. Theoretically, you have to get into that water shipment without being detected. Then you have to get out of the water tank once you're inside the colony, again without being detected. And then you have to figure out how to gather information on or steal and smuggle out this new roving bastion. So how do you want to do that? Now,
Are we assuming oxygen isn't going to be a problem?
It'll be fine.
Yeah, they can fight in space, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 6s there. I'm sure I didn't forget about oxygen.
So we need to determine your tactic and your loadout. So the tactic is the method you're going to use to accomplish the objective. It's a general strategy, and you give us one detail of how the mission opens. And other details of your exact plan you can do through flashbacks while you're playing through the mission by taking some stress. So the tactics available are assault, deception, scientific, social, stealth, and transport. So for assault is open violence against the target. The detail is the point of attack. Deception is luring, tricking, and manipulating the target. The detail is the method of deception. Scientific is engaging with technological power. The detail is the unusual procedures that you use. Social is when the squad negotiates with, bargains with, and persuades the target. The detail is your social connection. Stealth is for taking action undetected. The detail is the point of infiltration. And transport is carrying cargo and people through danger. The detail is the route and the means.
I have a couple points in maneuver on my vehicle, so we could try just sort of sneaking in there and like finessing our flight. I guess I shouldn't say finesse. Like we could try elegantly just sneaking on quickly, or we could try lying our way on.
Okay.
I see those as like the leading options because assault's probably not a good idea right now. I guess we could kill everyone and just fly it ourselves. Do you guys want to kill everyone?
No.
We're not supposed to do that, I guess.
Engagement.
If we were
Or do
gonna
you guys
do that,
want to
we
take
just-
them prisoner and leave them locked up in a closet?
That's threatening force.
Yeah, if we were gonna do that, we'd just blow a hole in the colony, right?
They specifically want you to leave the civilians alone. Whether or not you do is up to you, but that's the rules of engagement.
Gotcha.
So, does it seem like, I don't know, maybe stealth would be our way in here?
Yeah.
We could just fly up and cut a hole in the tank and sneak our robots in and close it up quick before all the water runs out.
It gets blasted out in space with explosive force.
And then it's just an empty tank with 3 robots in there. No one would notice, right?
And then they wouldn't have any water. That probably looks just as bad.
I mean, those are long-term consequences, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like almost 70% water, though. Like hydro cannibalism.
Just like in Tank Girl. As a side note, it was a really wild, accurate depiction of how to get water out of a person in that movie.
Nice.
Just stabbed them with a plastic bottle and water came out.
Ugh.
Alright, so is stealth sounding like the idea you want to go?
Yeah. Is anyone good at lying?
Nope.
Randall the Savage is, as the name would imply, is only good at being savage.
Okay, I have consort, which might help. So we could try lying our way onto it. And if that doesn't work, we could try sneaking. Yeah.
All right, you have to pick one tactic that you want to try, and then if
All
things
right,
go
we'll stealth.
wrong, okay. And the point of infiltration is you're going to cut a hole into the water tank. I just want to make sure that that's the detail, right?
Can we bring some sort of rubber film with us?
I wonder if I could use the same shielding technology I used on the mechs to create some kind of barrier to stop all the water from blasting into space.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
All right. The last thing is the loadout. The amount of gear that each pilot is bringing on the mission. You decide if you're going to carry a light, a medium, or a heavy load. And that's for you as a pilot and for you as... we also need to determine whether your mech is light, medium, or heavy. So for your loadout as a pilot, light means that you're quicker and less conspicuous. You can blend in with civilians, and that will provide increased effect whenever that would come in, whenever that would be relevant. Medium makes it look like you're well equipped for a difficult task, so it's a little harder to blend in, but that's the average. And a heavy load will make you slower, and will make it very clear that you're a member of an army. So if you're trying to hide or blend in, you'll have decreased effect. And you can each choose a different one. It's up to you.
I'm going to roll double light.
Okay.
I think if our robots are going to be inside this big tank, maybe they don't need as much stealth. So I would make, I think, my pilot light and my robot heavier.
All right. And the other thing is the load that you, or the loadout that you pick also affects your load, which is how many items and what weight of items you can declare during the mission.
Mm-hmm.
So for light, you can have 3 load worth of items, medium is 5 load, and heavy is 6 load worth. Keeping in mind that a lot of things are free. If it's in italics, it doesn't count towards your load. And again, you do not need to declare anything from your load until you need it in a mission.
Okay. Also, I'm looking at life support system insulates passengers and the pilot from the environmental dangers of space or being underwater.
Mm-hmm.
We all probably...
Yeah, you have that already. Like that's...
Okay.
We're assuming that's already had. We don't need to worry about that because that was part of what Kane did.
Okay.
I noticed that one of the free items you can have as a pilot is self-destruct remote. I'm sure that won't come up.
No, it will not factor in almost immediately.
Okay. And what is Randall's load and Randall's the Leroy Jenkins load?
Yes. I think pilot load, I'm gonna go light, and then vehicle, I'm gonna go medium.
Okay. So this brings us to the engagement roll. You plan the mission. We're going to jump right into the action. This is to see what the situation is like when we drop into the action. With the engagement roll, we start this with just 1 die for plain old luck. We get additional dice added for major advantages, and we subtract dice for disadvantages. So, for example, is the mission bold? You think it's bold, yes or no?
No, we're sneaking.
Okay, no dice for that then. Is it especially complicated? If so, remove 1 die. It doesn't seem complicated to me.
So.
What do you think?
No, we punched a hole in a thing.
Yeah. Does the mission exploit the target's vulnerability? Take 1 die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're up to 2 dice. Is the mission's tactic ineffective against the target? Take -1. So, big ol' civilian colony is wide open to being infiltrated. So we're at 2 dice still. Do you receive external support for the mission? You didn't check if there is anyone on the colony you know. Thing there. Is anyone interfering with the mission? Take minus 1d other than the target.
Brock.
You do take minus 1 die for that. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Are there any other factors that might affect the mission? If it's something that will help you, plus 1d. If it's something that will hinder you. The worst we can get is 0 dice, which means we roll 2 dice and take the... We're currently at 1 die.
I think we're fine. Like,
Okay.
this is very neutral. It's our first one, right? There's no strings attached.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to roll the engagement roll, which is just 1 die. Great. Good. Perfect. Yep, we got a 3. That's good. So, if the result of the engagement roll is 1 to 3, the starting position of the squad is desperate. What went wrong?
The hole we were drilling
Okay.
blasted wildly out of control.
Okay.
Which,
I'm going to-
of course, makes a giant kind of stream of ice into space that anyone could possibly see if they were looking out a window.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. I'm going to move us over to the colony exterior here in just a moment. All right. So
Nice.
you make your way to the ice convoy, and let's see. So Einstein, you start setting up your special bubble, and who is drilling the hole? Or blasting the hole, or whatever it is. Who's going to make this hole?
Who was our 2 engineer?
Well, Kane
Technician?
is the engineer.
Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
totally Kane.
Kane's making the bubble. This seems like a savage thing to do, is just drill into a thing.
I mean, I would just.
There's
Yes,
a
no,
mom
those
joke
are
in there
cool.
somewhere.
Oh, yeah, there is.
All right. Was it you drilling?
I mean, honestly, Randall would just punch the hole.
Okay, so
Let's say that's what we're wrong.
yeah, I think when planning this mission, you neglected to take into account Randall's proclivities. And you're like, okay, Randall, it's all you. Now we've got this laser drill set up. Boom! And your plans do not turn out super well. So the ship spirals out of control, and the water is blasting out and turning to ice as it goes. That's what would happen, right, John?
Yeah, totally.
Good. And it is going end over end as the water provides thrust as it ejects from the sealed canister here. Your mechs are still in the bubble attached to the outside of this, so you're being taken along for the ride in your roving bastions as it crashes into the cargo port of the colony.
Collateral damage, right? That counts.
Yeah, it counts.
Well,
Unintentional.
It's
though.
we
not
already
too
botched
bad
it,
yet.
guys.
It's not too bad yet. It crashes. Alarms start going off. You are in your roving bastions right now. They're covered in ice, and you are stuck inside. You can hear the alarms. You assume colony security is on the way. Your mission has begun. What do you do?
Can we hail them and be like, "Hey, we've spotted some technical difficulties. We're here to help."
You can absolutely lie. Yes.
Do you guys want to
Okay.
lie?
Yeah, you and your haircut are the expert liars. So.
All right, I comb it even harder to the right.
Okay.
Gather my wits and prepare to consort with them.
It sounds like sway because you're lying, but you can try to consort.
What if I'm not any good at swaying, so I'm gonna try to consort?
I think it will make the effects maybe a little bit lesser. Instead of standard effect, it might be limited effect.
Okay.
You are in a desperate situation, so you'll be rolling desperate limited, which is not great, but you are rolling consort, so you have one die, and you can push yourself, get assistance, or take a devil's bargain to get another die. You
I
can do all
will.
of those things as well.
Yeah, when I combed my hair, that was the devil's bargain. Or no, I guess no, that was me pushing myself.
Okay, so mark 2 stress on your
Yeah.
track.
All right.
That brings you up to 2 dice.
Because deep down on the inside, I do kind of want to keep combing it left. All right. So I took 2 stress.
Okay.
Roll 2
So that'll
dice
give
of
you
what?
2 dice. Desperate, limited effects, and consort. An action
And this is
roll.
an action roll, right?
Yes. We are in the action now.
Okay. Consort. Desperate. Limited. 2 dice.
Oh boy.
Bad news, guys! I sometimes get my right and left confused. And
That's
I combed it right.
And a 1.
Or I combed it the wrong way.
Success.
I would just like to say this is the type of situation, like, you know, when you get in trouble and you're found out, but sometimes you're just in so much trouble that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where we are. Like, I think we already, you know, messed up, and if we continue to mess up, it's just going to be irrelevant.
Kane just says, "It's happening again."
I begin fingering the self-destruct remote in my pocket and fidgeting with it. Okay, well I rolled a 3 and a 1, so I get on the phone and say, "Hi, we're here to help." Oh God.
Yeah, the colony. Let's see. The port control authorities here are not convinced as you come crashing in your ice-covered roving bastions of makes not familiar to this Terran hegemony allied colony. On the floor, the ice is starting to chip off, but you are seeing they don't even respond to your call. Instead, you can see somebody through the glass in the port control area reaching over to press a big red button. And I have ticked one alert on the Goliath alert, and I've started a new clock for colony security arrives. And that's a 4-step clock because, I mean, they're here. They'll be here quickly. What do you do?
So this person have they pressed the big red button yet, or are they still reaching for the big red button?
They're reaching for the big red button. They're
Sure.
going to press it, but you have time to do something about it.
Okay. So Kane, Kane's vehicle has some little rocket launchers. They're not exploding rockets, but they're filled with some of his special concoctions for just neutralizing people and not murdering them like we're not supposed to.
All right, so you want to try and disable this person who's trying to press the alarm before they get to the alarm.
Yeah, so this little canister is just gonna pop out of my machine, my vehicle. Maybe it'll blast through whatever plastic or glass is between us, and then just open up and start pouring gas into their little compartment there.
What action would you call this?
Engineering.
Would it? I guess.
It has to be a vehicle action if you're doing it in your vehicle.
I was just trying to
close
get
are
him a
they to me?
+3.
Like on the other side of a. You have entered a port, which is like a big spaceport, so it's like a warehouse size. They're on the other side of it.
So would it be bombard then, from that distance?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna bombard it in there.
Okay. Do you want to increase your number of dice? Because right now you'd be at 1. I would call this, because you're using a giant roast-to-person great effect, Desperate Great.
Okay. And I think, I think they'd push themselves to do this. They'll push their vehicle using all of its amazing scanners and analytical capabilities, calculate trajectories, things like that.
Okay, so mark 2 fuel on your vehicle,
Okay.
and that'll give you an extra die. Then roll your 2 dice at Desperate Great, unless you want anything else, assistance, devil's bargain, whatever. You can always ask for that stuff.
Bombard. Desperate. Great.
There are little drones already coming out to try and put out the fires, starting to do some repair work, cleaning up ice and water that's spilling all over. They all look like they're all just gonk droids, but they hover instead of having feet. So they're going gonk, gonk. Okay,
All right.
so you roll the 5 there. You always take the highest result unless you're rolling at 0 dice. So 5 means that you succeed. There is only a minor consequence here. I can't make your position any worse as a consequence, which would normally be my go-to because you started off desperate. But the 5 means that you are able to get that person, their hand does not reach the red button, so they are not able to fill that colony security arrives clock immediately. You have a few moments to try and figure out a plan between the 4 of you. Lieutenant Venus is, he has his sunglasses off and is massaging the bridge of his nose as he attempts to figure out what to do. It seems maybe he's got a concussion or something.
Can we renegotiate our terms of engagement?
Your employer's not here right now. You can change the terms of your... You can ignore your rules of engagement.
Alright, really quick, let's vote. There's 3 of us. I'm in. Who's with me?
In for what?
Don't worry about it. Are we still going to try to meet the mission constraints?
High 5 you.
Sorry, Randall.
Wait, is this vote for no rules or the same rules?
No rules.
Randall will raise his hand and high 5 you.
Randall's in. All right.
Kane's pretty much just here for the tech that's in that new arms wire. So yeah, he's fine to get in there. However.
Okay, cool. If it happens, guys, if we got to dig ourselves out of a hole, it's on the table now.
Okay. So also, because you're in a desperate position, each time that you roll from a desperate position, you can, because you're desperate. So the 5, I should have mentioned, when you roll a 5, there's a severe harm, serious complication, or you've reduced effect. So it was going to be a great effect against this person, like they wouldn't have gotten to the button ever, but as it is now at standard effect, they are still inching their hand towards that button to bring the colony security. So I'm going to increase that clock by 1 tick at the moment. There are ways for you to improve your situation, but for that to happen, you probably have to get out of the open.
I have maneuver level 2 on my mech and a flight system on it. Can I grab the other 2 mechs and elegantly maneuver us into a more discreet location?
You can do a group action. Yeah, you can lead a group action for sure.
Okay.
And let's see. So that will be maneuver, like you said. And your goal is to try and get out of the open and get somewhere more hidden, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Or I could tackle the guy trying to press the button.
You would have to get out of your bastion to do that.
No, I mean in the bastion.
Okay.
That's
so
also...
What would you prefer to do? If you do a group action, then everyone rolls maneuver, and we take the highest result, but any failures cause you stress. Or cause you fuel, rather.
So, I mean, if we squish the guy, like, I'm under the impression he's just, like, trying to press the button, and if he does, we're in trouble, or did he already press it?
He is trying to press the button, but
Okay.
he is currently restrained by the goop that Kane fired at him.
Okay, that's probably tied to the local security, right?
Yeah. As far as we know.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to run or do you want to fight?
I'm down to throw down.
All right. I go for the tackle.
Okay.
All right. I open up the
In that
boosters,
case,
elegantly
it's
steer
gonna
my
be-
thing right at him.
that sounds like destroy.
That would be maneuver to like dash my way because he's like on the other side of a barrier or something.
Yeah,
Just
so if you're trying to
shove
destroy
him.
him and the barrier, logically destroy, right?
Well, I can't like fly through the hole he made because we just like came crashing in and then we fired up. We bombarded those goo grenades in or whatever.
Yeah, I think we just need to look at scale here. So, like, you are in a giant robot. This is a man in a small glass box on the other end of a warehouse. Like he's like in a little office.
Oh, okay.
So, and the office has the big glass window, like the overseer's office, up at the top of the stairs, glass window, so they can see what's going on.
Oh. All right. Yep.
They're in there.
All right. Well, I have 1+1 on destroy. So.
Okay.
Oh no, I have +2. I have 2 on
I don't
destroy
see
and maneuver.
Yeah, there we go. You do. Yep.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay, you're still in a desperate position, but this will be great effect because the giant robot crushing a small human man.
Well, I mean, not super crushing. I mean, I'm going to try to keep him alive. Just like breaking the ribs. Like all
We
of
will
them.
see how this goes.
Yeah. If I roll a couple 6s. This is a desperate control or desperate
rate.
at 2 dice. Hey!
Okay. So you streak across the room and your hand closes your Bastion's hand, the IMEX hand, crushes this office and destroys the person inside. So goodbye to that segment of the rules of engagement.
Oh no.
Oh, like
You
stepping
rolled
on a
a 4,
ketchup
though.
bottle.
Which means that there is a serious consequence because it was not at 6. So a serious complication, or let's see. Your iMech hits it so hard that it ends up damaging the machine's arm because behind this office is the solid wall of the colony, which is a, just very extremely thick metal hull. So your iMech can take the level 2 harm, crushed arm. So whichever arm you just used, that arm doesn't work anymore.
Alright, yeah, honestly, it was probably the right.
Okay.
So where do I slot that on the character sheet then?
It's under damage. So
Yes.
scroll down a little bit from where you are to damage.
Yeah,
and
I've got the
it's under-
spot. Camel.
Yep.
You're anonymous
There you go,
camel.
good.
So just put
Exactly.
in...
Okay.
So I just say, like, arm damaged?
Yeah. What are the rest of you doing while this is happening?
I think I'm scanning for the most efficient, or analyzing? I don't know. The most efficient way to where we believe they're storing these new arms wares.
Okay. So going forward, is your plan to break into the colony in your roving bastions, or are you going to hide them and go in on foot to gather information?
It seemed like we just decided to go full tilt, didn't we?
Yeah!
Heel turn.
Okay, so you will probably want to find the quickest way into the colony itself from the port here.
Mm-hmm. So I'm in my giant robot. So would that be an analyze?
Analyze, greater understanding, composition, system, map a cave system. It seems like, yeah, analyze.
Okay, cool. Let's see how good we are at figuring out this route.
This will be, you are in still your desperate situation, and this will be standard effect.
Okay. Desperate, standard. And 2 dice, right? Because I have 2.
Okay.
Yay!
So you find that the quickest way through now is going to be through, you have to go through the floor. There is a weak spot in the floor that you discover with your analysis. And going through the floor will lead you to, will lead you to a side entrance of the colony that is primarily disused, like it's an emergency exit normally. So if you go down through the floor here, you'll be directly above the emergency exit, which you can go in through if you blast your way through it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yep. As you go, as your analysis computer finishes its beeping through, you hear a ping on your, like, what's the word I'm looking for? A ping on your HUD that lets you know that there is a force of ships on approach outside the colony.
Oh, good.
Sounds like we should hurry. Or do they need any temps?
And I have moved the Goliath alert up to tick 5 out of 6. Those are probably their ships approaching.
Okay, I'm gonna real fast use a beam cannon to blast my way through this, or to carve a hole through this this floor, right where I need to.
Okay. I don't think we need to roll for that in particular because it's just shooting a gun at the floor. So you get down through the floor towards the emergency exit. I am changing your position from desperate to risky at this point. So you get to go up 1 level. Your position now is just risky because you've gotten out of the open and gotten away from the alarm, or the alarm that was being pressed. So who wants to get you through this door, and how are you going to do it? By force, by thought, by trickery?
I mean, I could try cutting through it. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I said I will make another door with my fists.
You're on a roll.
So in that case, I think that sounds like destroy to me.
That's an action roll then?
Yes. Right now you have 1 die and destroy. You would be doing risky stand on this. And you can increase the number of dice you have using any of the methods we're here to discuss.
That's 1 dice?
You have 1 right now. Hey! You got a 6.
Nice.
Okay. So, on a risky 6, you do it. You punch straight through the emergency exit, and it is now an emergency exit. You go through it, and that will bring you to the inside of the colony.